to the Courageous Self-Care Podcast. I'm your host, Christina Marlette. On this show, we talk about self-care that goes beyond bubble baths, chocolate, and wine. It's the self-care that goes deep. It's on the inside. It can be uncomfortable. You often need a guide for it because you don't know what you don't know. And the best part is that it changes your life. Today, we are doing an interview, so I have my guest, Brittany Michalchuk. Brittany, welcome.
Hey guys. How are you?
I am super. How are you today?
Lovely. It's a beautiful morning.
It sure is. Brittany, our guests, or not our guests, our listeners would love to know a little bit more about you.
Yeah. So, my name is Brittany Michalchuk, and I'm from Calgary, Alberta, Canada. And I got my degree in finance from the University of Calgary at the Haskayne School of Business. I had two very successful businesses. One of them was called BAM Marketing Solutions. The other one was Bracelets for Humanity. And I am on to my calling and my joy in life, which is coaching, high performance coaching for 6 to 7 figure entrepreneurs that want to step it up. So people that are very focused and very driven in their life, that are looking to get bigger and better results. And I just am having the time of my life, exponentially growing that business, and I love it.
Oh, that sounds really inspiring. I always love to hear that people are doing what lights them up.
Yes, definitely lights me up.
Yeah, I can tell. So, Brittany, I love to get our guests to share one of their favorite self-care practices. What would that be for you?
I think my favorite self-care practice is growing my mind. I feel like your mind has so much capacity and capability to do wonderful things. And if you give it TLC and have your fish oils and drink lots of water and get lots of sleep, your mind can do so many magnificent things.
Absolutely. Yes, I totally agree. And then we've talked in the past about mindset too. Would you call that part of your self-care practice as well?
What do you mean?
Yeah, controlling your mindset, changing your thoughts, moving into the positive, that kind of stuff.
Yes. Mindset is so important to be able to control your thoughts so that you can have self-care. Because self-care is a conscious decision. It's not something that you just wake up every morning and just take care of yourself. For some people, a lot of people, especially high-level performers, it takes conscious effort. So making the time, doing what feeds your soul and what nurtures you, what grounds you. And it's something that we have to set aside time to put into our daily routine so that we can perform at peak performance, because we also have that balance in life.
Exactly. Yeah. The Courageous Self-Care has 12 different foundations to it, and mindset mastery is one of them. And the reason that, or the way that I like to teach about self-care is that you can think about it all you want, but putting it into action is where the courage comes.
Yeah.
And doing that one little, like shifting your mind, shifting your thoughts, or putting pen to paper, that one action step is what makes the difference between someone who is depleted and someone who has overflowing energy.
Yes, very true, very true.
Now, okay, so what I'd love to move into is your story of courage. And just before you do that, the reason that I have our guests share their stories of courage is because there is this energy of courage that some people are really skilled at tapping into, and others are believing that they're not even courageous, which isn't true. We all are courageous. If we're alive, we have come through fear onto the other side. And so by hearing other women's stories of courage, it can give us new ideas, it can give us a different perspective, and we can even borrow other people's courage in situations where we don't feel like we have it yet.
Yes, that's so precise. Courage is a learned skill. I actually lacked so much courage in my life. I felt very weak. I felt very down. I felt like I had a negative mindset, and I felt depleted. I felt like I didn't have the capacity to be strong and courageous. And what happened to me actually was hitting my rock bottom. I was on a national TV show and I was painted as the biggest villain because I was too confident, too competitive, and too goal-orientated, only seeking winning. And I was very, very broken afterwards because the cyberbullying was very intense. I questioned, I questioned a lot of different things, and I was very disheartened by how cruel humanity could be because they didn't understand me. I had very good intentions. I was kind to everyone. One of my biggest pillars in life is to be kind and have a good heart, but at the same time be competitive and go after your goals and focus on winning. And that was not the way that things had landed on people. And so I reached a very challenging point in my life, and I felt very defeated. And I look back on that, and it was through that sadness and through that inability to get out of bed in the morning because I had reached my rock bottom, that I grew strength and that I grew that courage, because I knew I never wanted to feel like this ever again. I knew I never wanted to hit my rock bottom and be deflated and feel like I was just exhausted with life. So I became absolutely obsessed, be obsessed or be average. I became obsessed with learning courage and learning mental strength and mental domination and learning how to control my mindset. And it was that time period that absolutely transformed my life and built me into a stronger person.
Mm-hmm. That's so powerful. So first of all, I have a bunch of questions for you. So first of
Sure.
all, it must have taken some sort of courage to even apply to be on the show and to get on there. So what was that experience like for you?
Um, it was a matter of believing in yourself. It was a matter of going on there and being like, I can do this. I got this. I have the skills. I have the capacity to do it. And it was the confidence and belief in yourself to show up, to be able to put your best foot forward.
Mm-hmm. And then, so when you were in that rock bottom, it sounds to me like other people's opinions of you, the cyberbullying, everything on the external caused a collapse on the inside. Is that
Mhm.
true?
Yeah, I had some other personal stuff going on in my life as well. That was actually the most challenging thing I've ever had to deal with in my entire life.
Yeah, it sounds.
And yeah, it just all compiled, and it all just fell on me like a ton of bricks. And thank God for my mother,
Mm.
bless her soul. But it was through her love and strength that I was able to pull myself back.
And that's such an important point that you just made is courage doesn't mean doing it by yourself.
Yes.
More often than not, like I would say without exception, actually,
Hmm.
we require connection. We
Hmm.
require heart connection. We
Yes.
require community. We require people who can see
Yes.
beyond our own little, um, uh, where we're blocked. It takes someone else to see and be able to help us come through that fear to the other side. So it sounds like your mom was that for you.
Yeah, she was. And I had a lot of great mentors and coaches, and I just went coach mode on myself. I had to pull myself out of it, and with the strength of my family and my support system, and my sister was very kind, and my dad was super cute about it as well. I was able to get back to myself, and oh, I am stronger than I ever ever imagined. The battles that I've taken on since then and just absolutely crushed and dominated, it it's the most amazing feeling to know that you can build strength. You can build grit. You can build that determination. It's just a learned skill. It all boils down to being able to control your mindset. And I just am at a place right now where I'm so happy and I'm grateful for my rock bottom, because that's what I needed to do to learn how to be courageous and learn how to never allow myself to get back there.
And that's something that's a really powerful skill too, is looking for the gift. So every challenge that we go through, it's because our soul, the deepest part of us, our heart is wanting to expand. And it's a lot, uh, the lessons are so much more profound when they come wrapped in the package of a challenge than when
Yeah.
they're easy.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the other thing I wanted to ask you, Brittany, is you said that you took that time to learn about courage. So what is
Mhm.
something that you learned that you feel would be helpful to share with the listeners about courage in particular?
Um, it's a trained habit. It gets easier. It's something that I've been practicing over and over. So I go coach mode on myself, and coach mode is just holding yourself accountable. So I talk to myself the way I would speak to my clients. And what it is it's holding you accountable for living that life and switching your mindset. And once you realize that your life is just a perspective, your life is just the lens that you've chosen to have, you get to change that perspective. You get to change that mindset. You get to step up and play at a much bigger game and a much bigger level because you are in control of your life. So once you consciously recognize that you can change your mindset, you can learn courage, you can learn strength, you can learn hard work, you can learn discipline, you can learn anything. Your brain is just a muscle, just like the muscles in your body. You then empower yourself to take yourself and to take your life on so you can be the best version of yourself, so you can level up, so you can get all your goals. And it's just from knowing that that's possible and then taking action.
Yeah, exactly. Beautiful. I love that.
Mhm.
So, the other thing I would like to add is at the same time as discipline and hard work and focus and drive, there we can also learn to do all of that in a package that is really caring for ourselves. We can be gentle on ourselves. We can train our minds to be our cheerleaders rather
Yes.
than our worst critics. So that has a lot to do with courageous self-care too. And I want to just really make that point is when we think about self-care,
Mhm.
we often think about really soft stuff, like going to the
Mhm.
spa or bubble baths. And that's why I talk about it's being beyond bubble baths, chocolate and wine. Courageous self-care has both dynamics to it. It has the masculine energy of moving towards our dreams, setting intentions for ourselves, and it has the feminine side of nurturing ourselves along the way so that we are giving to ourselves as well as giving to others.
Yes,
Yeah.
giving to yourself is so important. I do a really powerful exercise with all of my clients, and you would not believe how mean people are to themselves. Like if my clients spoke to me the way that they spoke to themselves, I wouldn't be friends with them.
Right.
So many people, and my clients are rock stars. Like they are phenomenal human beings, but it just so happens that this is what everybody, I'd say 98% of people are so unconscious to how mean they are to themselves. They
Right.
say meaner stuff to themselves than they do their worst enemies. And where the impact comes from is recognizing that. So many people are like, you're so stupid. You're never going to get that raise. Sally's smarter than you. Sally and the boss get along better than I do. She's the one that's going to be in line for that raise. I could never get that guy. He's so good looking. What would he want to do with a girl like me? I'm not pretty enough. I'm not smart enough. I'm not worthy of, I'm not worthy of love. I don't deserve this friend in my life because they're such a high quality individual. Why would they want to be friends with me? We don't recognize how mean we are to ourselves, and then we wonder why we don't have the confidence to pursue our dreams. We
Yeah.
wonder why we don't have the confidence to go out there and live a bold, courageous life. It starts with how you speak to yourself.
Oh,
When
for
you can
sure.
reframe how you speak to yourself, you reframe how you see yourself. And when you see yourself as a rock star and as a world dominator and as a world game changer and having a world class mindset, that's the power that allows you to do big stuff. That's the power that allows you to love yourself, which is such an important aspect of life. And I talk to hundreds of people in my line of work. And the biggest thing that I focus on with people right off the bat is self love and kindness, and understanding that being confident in who you are is not a bad thing. It shouldn't be villainized. We should stop villainizing people that are so confident in who they are, because those are the game changers that go out and change the world. Those are the game changers that are courageous enough to take themselves on and to beat those challenges, to be able to do impactful things. And as society, we need to band together and support them, not try and tear them down, not try and rip them apart, but build them up. And we need to work together as a community to build each other up, not all this craziness of women talking about other women behind their back and men's egos going at each other and that competition rivalry. We need to support each other, and we need to build each other up.
Beautiful. I wholeheartedly agree. And I heard a speaker recently who had a phrase that I love. Courage is the fastest route to self-confidence.
Mm-hmm. I like that. Courage is the fastest route to self-confidence.
Yeah. All right. So Brittany, if people want to learn more about you and what you do, where can they find you?
On my Instagram, I post so much amazing content, and I give it out for free. My Instagram is Brittany Michalchuk, BrittyMichalchuk. I do post about 50% of that content on Facebook as well. So you can add me on Facebook. Again, Brittany Michalchuk, BrittyMichalchuk. So connect with me, send me a message, guys. If you're listening to this podcast, send me a message and I will send you the 3 things that I did to gain courage in my life and overcome those challenges in a broken down, easy to follow step-by-step guide. And yeah, I hope to connect and send me a connection, and I look forward to meeting you.
Beautiful. Thank you, Brittany. And if you, I'd like to invite you to also share your story of courage, because when one woman overcomes that fear and shares that story of courage, it ripples out into the world and creates, I was talking with a coach of mine yesterday, a glitter bomb of positivity. And that's what we want to do. So if you're interested in applying to be a guest on the show, go to ChristinaMarlette.com. And thank you, Brittany, so much for being here and sharing your passion and your enthusiasm and your story.
Of course. Thank you for having me. You have such a big heart and love for people and just this genuine kindness that is so rare in society today. So thank you for being you and showing up courageous for other women and supporting them to achieve their greatness.
Oh, that's so sweet of you, Brittany.
It's true.
So thank you. I received that. And to wrap things up here, the Courageous Self-Care podcast airs Monday through Friday. Lots of great content always coming your way. And if you enjoyed this episode, please like, comment, and share it. If you're following on, if you're listening to the podcast, you can become a follower. If you're watching on YouTube, you can subscribe to the Courageous Self-Care channel. And the final thought I want to leave you with, that I say every time because we need to hear it a million times to internalize it, it is that self-care is not selfish. It is the last thing from selfish. When we take care of ourselves, we are creating a better life for ourselves. Who doesn't want that? And then all the people around us benefit from the new and improved person that we are. And then it's also energetically affecting the entire world. So go ahead and take some time to practice courageous self-care, because it's not selfish at all. All right, I look forward to connecting with you again soon. Bye-bye for now.